Hey everybody, it's me, it's Lori. I'm coming to you from Tom's Sewing in Surrey. I've got my special guest with me today is Anneve.
I am special.
You are special. We're all special here.
I know.
That's why it's easier to work here, because, yeah. So she's joining me because Deborah's still away, because she still left me.
Hi, Deborah.
Yeah, she is sitting out on the lake.
Yes, she is.
Enjoying the view.
Although it's hot.
I know it's blasted hot, and she doesn't like the heat.
It's nice and air conditioned in here, by the way. You might want to come back early. Now, is there a cell factor? There you go.
Yeah. So, yeah, she sent me pictures, and I'm like, she goes, we're out here for some nice peace and quiet. And I says, you want me to come? And she goes, can you do peace and quiet? I can do peace and quiet.
Yeah, we just have other people around us that don't make us as quiet.
Exactly.
See, we gotta blame it on that.
Yeah, that's what I told her. I sit there and I says, I can do peace and quiet. My family just can't. So. Yeah. So, anyways, I hope she is having a lot of fun and enjoying her holiday she's got.
She needs one, yes.
She does. All right. So, it's going to be interesting when she comes back. There are a lot of changes happening in the store. So, as you know.
You're not allowed to say that, because then she might not come back. There's no changes, Deborah. It's
well,
all good. Yeah.
It's the layout I was kind of referring to. So if you come in, we've got like now the industrial section in there, and so there's so much things, so much going on with all that with the merging with masons and stuff, and so they're frantically bringing this stuff over and rearranging this and all that fun stuff. So come on in, check it out. Yeah.
There was a bit more fabric too, but I'm not pointing those out because I need them first. So there's always more fabric coming in.
There is. There. If you hadn't seen the email, there's a whole bunch of Grinch fabric that came in.
Not to say that you're all Grinchy and you need more, but Grinch fabric is kind of fun, and we'll actually show you what it looks like when it's put together.
So much coming in, and then because it is July, there's going to be a lot. Oh no, it's August now. I have no idea what month it is. I really don't. I'm forgetting.
We're actually almost at the middle of August.
July was not my month. Like anything that can go wrong did, and so like from our dog passed away, and then hot water.
I have 2 German Shepherds.
No, we still have 2, and Dusty's our blind one, and he has turned into quite the little prima donna. He comes in the living room, wants up on the couch, but he doesn't want to get up on the couch. He wants someone to lift him on the couch because he's blind and he's a baby. Yeah, so I can't lift him, so I tell him, you know how to get up there and stuff like that. So then he throws his little tantrum and he lays down on the floor and and then just kind of whimpers a little bit, like that's going to have any effect on me. So he seen me getting ready this morning and knew I was leaving, and so he thought I left. And so I come in the living room and he's up on the couch, and that dog looks so, because he got caught getting up on that couch that he's trying to convince me he can't do.
Hey, if somebody else is going to do it for you.
And then, so I was telling Nathaniel as we're heading out the door, and Dusty's at the thing, and then he's not necessarily really loud, like vocal dog, but I'm like, and then he starts like, he's like, shut up, quit complaining. So it was kind of funny, but anyway, so it just, everything lasted. So heart water went down, which we still don't have. We're going on past 7 weeks, almost 8.
Cold showers, go to her place.
Yeah. On the news last night, it's like for batting the heat, it says, take cold showers. We got that down packed at this point. So we've got that, and then my embroidery machine, the bobbin case jumped. I borrowed and can't figure out why, but actually we kind of think we know a little bit. And then I borrowed the store one from the store because I had to get some projects done. I didn't even have that thing for a week, and it jumped for no reason. And then we're in class, and then there's a lady with a 15, and out of the blue, hers jumped. I'm like, I can't even be in the same room apparently with these things. So, and then like just a whole bunch of other things, like anything that can. So July was just. So I'm just forgetting that there was a July this month. this year. So, but back to the original thing. It's August, so we should be getting in more Christmas fabric.
There's a lot more Christmas fabric coming.
Oh, I know. I've seen some of it, and I'm like, yay! So I'm all excited on that stuff. So, but I always have to wait. I have to give customers an opportunity.
Always. It's all good.
It is. All right, so just a couple of things before we get into with why Anneve's with me. Let's see. Oh, I've had a few people ask. So there's the Enchanted Winter from Kimberbell. I've got some more blocks. Dad, you got to see these. These things are amazing. Those are just simple snowflakes. They're kind of boring. But these ones, look at my bird. It's
these
not
all
puffy.
the same pattern, or
Yeah,
this
this is Enchanted Winter. This is the new Kimberbell quilt. There's a class in I think the class is October because it's not quite released yet. But look, I haven't seen some of these.
And you can build the quilt or build pillows or other things.
This is still my favorite. I mean, we've got the animals and they've got the penguin. Had to do some fun with that one for Tom, but he's my fuzzy polar bear. I love him. Got him with Minky.
So is that Minky on top of
That is Minky.
Okay.
And Annette. It was so thick. Like, this is like double thickness. So, like, Minky's on both sides of this fabric. I got it for Macy to do her bunnies, but she says it's too thick and she can't do it. So I used it.
Minky here, or did you get it from somewhere else?
I got it from somewhere else.
Okay.
We don't usually carry Minky.
That's usually a question that comes up, so just clarifying that.
But it's like so thick, I like literally had to trim around his eyes so that he could see.
So a new set of scissors may be required then.
Yes. So, so this is a class coming up. If you're interested in this class, you do need to sign up if you've never done a Kimberbell project before for the Getting Organized Kimberbell Basics, I think is what it's called. It's beginning of September. We've opened up more seats for that one. So
And that's in class.
it is in class. We've opened up more seats, so it helps you to get organized and to be prepared, because when we come to class, because there's so much to do beforehand, that if we did it in class, it would take all of class and we wouldn't
And
get
so just
any
to clarify, this is getting the fabrics, getting them all cut up, putting them in
how
baggies.
to organize it, because Kimberbell kind of has a little bit of a way that they show in their patterns.
Yeah.
I find it works. I've got more other ways, but we talk
they
about
they give you a couple of pages, but if you don't take those pages and also get your fabrics, that's part of the key.
Yeah.
It can be like you can't do it as you go. You can, but it may not match.
No,
Like, all your
no.
colors there, all
the first Kimberbell quilt that they came out was the Jingle All the Way, and it was nowhere near as detailed as what it is now. And it was, I picked and grabbed fabrics and as I was going, and it was very confusing, and I'd had to redo a few blocks because blocks that went together now had the same fabrics together. And so it really is. So this doesn't turn into a stressful project. It really is helpful to take that class on how to get organized.
Good.
Let's see what else. We have Serger Level 3 coming up next week. There's a couple spots in that. And then Kimberbell Club. Well, it's not Kimberbell Club. It's Stitch and Chatter, I think is what it's called. No.
It's embroidery.
I call it the Embroidery Club. So that's next week, both on Thursday in Surrey, in person in the daytime, Zoom in the evening. If you haven't registered, so we noticed this last month is because we had it in the calendar for the first 6 months and then it hadn't gone in. And so if you are not sure if you are registered, please register. Because
there's a key thing about registering, because this is with other programs. One, it allows you guys to have all the handouts for everyone that's showing up. But two, should something happen, like the power goes out or something, they can notify you that it's either canceled or it's changed. And when people don't register, it's like they show up and go, so where is it? And it's like, well, no, it's been moved. And it's not that we intend to do that, but sometimes that stuff happens. So registering is still
and for the Zoom one, you don't get the Zoom link.
yeah.
So
but it's in the in classrooms that we are seeing that a little bit more.
Yeah. So basically, for the Zoom one, we noticed because when Carrie put it in, we noticed that there's like nobody registered in the Zoom ones, and then everyone's like going, "When is it?" So or I got a lot of emails going, I didn't get the Zoom link because you might not re-register. So when in doubt, make sure you're registered for the Zoom one and you'll get the Zoom link. And then we have placement. This is an Anneve class. You gotta see this.
So this is we have some people that are coming back after taking a sabbatical of sewing. Some people
How would you do that?
Some people have kids. Remember those things we had?
I have kids and I have grandkids. I sew to get rid of. Sorry.
Anyway, so this is a great course if you know someone's new, they got a brand new machine, or you just want to give a gift. You can pick the fabric. You can come with your fabric. Totally up to you. It's a very easy pattern. We do start out with building the placemat, and then we have a pot holder. So we'll show you the thin slate so you can actually put it on a hot surface. And then we have a tea cozy. Totally optional what you want to build and how many of each you build. But it is a very, for Lori it will be a hat. She is our little teapot. But it's very, very simple, and you can do a couple of these, especially if you're already thinking about Christmas.
Those would make really cute
Quick gifts.
Yeah, there we go.
And what I usually do with a project like this is sometimes I will wrap it with a box of tea or a new teapot for someone just getting married type thing, and put the whole package together. So it's not just sewing stuff going to them. Just add a little bit of
there you go.
in a basket. There you go.
Sounds like a plan. All right. So I have Anneve with us, and she's agreed. But reason we kind of picked her, okay, Valen told her. She is one of our teachers, and so we want to kind of give you guys an opportunity to meet Anneve, to get to know her a little bit better, and kind of see where her background comes in and why she does what she does and why she loves all that kind of stuff. So first of all, okay, so some of the classes that Anneve is done, like she does some sewing. She did one on
a panel class.
Yeah, I'd show it to you, but is it coming down or going up?
I have no idea right now. Am I coming or going?
So it's been on the wall. If you've probably seen it, it's the one with the horse and then the strips around it. It's really, really cute. I'd show it, but like I said, there's a lot of changes going on, and I know you just had that class.
No, we are going to have that.
Going to have that
class.
class.
So if you want to get to a panel class, there's still spots for that one
Okay,
as well.
so I don't know if it's coming down because they're putting up another quilt, or they had to take it down for when they were messing around with some other stuff. So
when you go to the calendar, you'll see a picture of it.
You'll see it. It's gorgeous.
Yeah.
But one of the other classes that she has, coming up here, and she's done it in the past, is an organization class. And so we're going to kind of just jump from there and get an idea of your background. Okay, yeah. So who are you?
Yeah, and we're going to take, and what we're trying to do is we're taking a step back to, let people know who I am, and also some of our other instructors as well. Because everyone just thinks you show up here and, do they know anything about sewing, or they what's their expertise and what do they do for a real job? And you'll be surprised that if I even brought out lots of people in the store, some of them have been nurses, and some of them have had a high technical background. And then how did they end up in a sewing environment, or getting into embroidery or long arming in that?
I was avoiding laundry.
So for myself, my real job, what do I do when I'm at work? I'm a director of learning and development. I've been doing this for 30 years. My education and background is business and marketing. And, you go down those paths in your 30-year career where you educate a lot of people. Today, most stuff is online, but obviously people see me in a classroom, so it's not a big leap for me to jump into a classroom and educate people. The key thing is I'm an adult educator. My background is more on brain studies and psychology, and how to persuade executives and leadership, people of leadership, to grow their business. How do I get the shipper and the receiver to do it the way we want them to do it as an organization, collectively with other people, and work within a team? So the biggest thing that I have on my 30 years is I've developed a lot of courseware for corporate companies. And, you know, as I'm getting older, and we all are, some of us are retired. Some of us are so looking forward to retirement. That is what I'll say. I am, as my kids, some of us have our kids, my kids are still at home, but they're adult kids.
They are never, ever leaving.
Yeah, they love us too much. I need to move into a place where I have a lot of knowledge. And when I look out to people, especially in the sewing community, and I belong to Fraser Valley Quilt Guild, there's a lot of knowledge there. And how do you transition from the work to just the sewing? And for me, I 8 years ago walked into the store and seen Deb, and she signed me up for a course, and I haven't looked back ever since. But my intent for myself is to, I have some sewing expertise, but I have these other tools that people know me in my corporate life of, I organize people, but I mainly organize people as teams. As I get more into my sewing part, I've spent the last 5 years organizing my own space, which has transitioned from, I mentioned to you earlier, that I used to have my parents stay over, and so there was a bed in the middle of the sewing space, and I used to work around that, and now the bed's gone. And now I have...
kicked their parents out.
Yeah, basically. I love them dearly, but it's time to go. But I've transitioned into, you hit a point in time in your life where you're either in a role where you got told what to do and how to do it, to, in my retirement, I want to truly be creative. And when I work with people on organizing and being creative, I try to coach, and why I won't go to your place unless you ask me to, in a nice way. And not to say you wouldn't be nice, it is going into somebody's space and making it for them to feel the way they want to feel when they're being creative.
I think,
so when people say the word organization, it's like, oh no.
Yeah,
Lori's got that look in her face.
It has become a, almost like a swear word.
Yes, it is.
Because organization and, getting organized is this dreaded thing. And I mean, I know to some degree, you buy all these books, you watch all these videos and YouTube it, Google, all these things, and you get all these, there's all these ideas on how to get organized. Put this here, put that there, and put this here.
And you have to do this.
And you have to do this. And this is the type of space that you need. And I find a lot of times I'm watching that and I'm going, yeah, well, I don't have that. I don't have the money necessarily to invest in all of those kind of things. I don't have the space. I physically can't necessarily do a lot of that stuff. And some of it just doesn't make sense. And so I find that the biggest approach a lot of times to organization is that is you do it my way. And that just doesn't work. I think organization is really personal on what makes sense.
And that's what I'm bringing to the table. Although I have the experience of corporate life, and if for some of these people, I'll use words that we use in the workforce called Kaizens and 5S. I've coached all that stuff through. I've worked with manufacturing teams to say, okay, we got 5 workstations here. We got to do one piece flow, and we got to do everything the same between 10 people. Well, that organization is it's a team collaboration. But now we're switching some of those concepts that we teach there, we can bring into our homes. Does it have to be, well, your coffee cup needs to be absolutely in that spot. We're going to put a circle around it, and every time you're going to put your coffee cup in that same spot? I would hope not. But having said that, there are certain things that you can reset to. So when you walk into the room, it's not a pile in the corner that you're like, I don't feel like sewing today because I got a pile in the corner. Or When we hosted this last year, and we did it over Christmas, we did a 1-hour session. The feedback's always been positive. I didn't think about it that way. This is about a thinking of, what do you want? What do you want in your sewing space? And for some people, sewing space, it's only a desk.
Mm-hmm.
For some people, they got an office where they're going to hold everything in and they're going to shut the door. They actually don't want that organized, but they do want to organize the desk they have in front of a window that looks out on their backyard, and that people come into that space and they want it to look nice. Doesn't matter what the space is. Target number one, what is the goal you want to feel when you're creating something? Because you do embroidery. I do a combination of quilts. I'll do special projects. I mean, we're working on a tree skirt for this week's course and last week. I take on many different things. So my space is all about being creative. And I'll be honest, I sit in my room and I have my TV on and I have my design wall. And I look at my design wall and go, I can quickly go grab these things. And I've kept it for me to go grab these things in a way that works for me. I can suggest if you want to, I started out with things that actually had to be by size. That doesn't work for me. I've discovered it needs to be by color. So when my approach is, and it's not absolute, it's more of working through what is holding you up to get you your space so you can accomplish the things you want. Because most of the people come in, I want to do more. I want to create more projects, or I have the sewing machine, but I want to get into embroidery, but I have no space. Well, you could. And we know that there's machines that do both.
Yeah.
Right?
I know a guy.
But the other thing too is you need to fluster that out, and sometimes, no, you don't have the money today, but maybe there's other things we can do to create an area and bring those things in. So sometimes they're a longer plan, sometimes they're short, some things are really easy.
Yeah. Well, I noticed, like, sometimes it isn't even just about tackling the whole thing at once.
Absolutely. I'm an advocate of take on something small. And the example I would give you, I had a bin full of scraps. It was haunting me because the scraps were falling out of the bin. And I started with bin number 2. I always had this rule, I can only have 1 bin of scraps. It was driving me crazy. It was making me sick. Which is kind of silly, actually, because it's just scraps, right? 2 choices. Bag it up, send it out, or deal with the strips. And I dealt with them, and I'll show you guys what ended up happening with them, and actually have created some stuff out of it. Because as I was organizing those strips, like, oh, I can build this, and I can do that. And that's me getting organized allows me to think about those other things. I so wish I could execute on all the ideas coming up, but that's just not practical. But sometimes you just cut the line and decide, okay, this is what I want to do.
Yeah, it's little things. Like, sometimes we think that, organizing isn't just like things.
Everyone watches a show where they do it in 30 minutes of a whole house rental.
Yeah, it ain't happening.
Not happening.
But
and it actually doesn't happen that way. They actually spent weeks designing and executing.
Yes, and
any of those things.
And a whole team.
Yeah,
like,
absolutely.
Like 30, 40 people.
They didn't have 2 people doing it. They got like 30.
Yeah. So, but just like little things. So, a couple weeks ago, if you remember, we went and seen Trish at Fanta.
Yeah, she had a very organized space.
Oh yeah, huge.
But she has to for the business that she has.
She does. But one of the things that they do, because they've got so many machines going or whatever, one thing about embroidery or any sewing is you need to change a needle out of every so many things. And so they have like a little sticky and they mark down, like all that kind of stuff. That is organization. And so I've taken that now because that was one of my big things is I'm got so many projects on the go between personal stuff and store stuff, and then remembering, okay, when did I change my needle last? How much have I done this?
I do the same thing, but I have mine on a calendar.
Yeah.
And I have a calendar by each of my devices.
Yeah, and so it's just a little sticky note or calendar or something. And so what I write down is, okay, so I did this project, and then how long was this stitch out? So I don't even have to like monitor it on the clock per se, because on my machine it says that it's going to be 30 minutes or whatever, because I don't have to count like the time that it takes me to trim something or to do or to iron or whatever. We just want actually stitching minutes. So this project, this is the stitching minutes, and then I write that down. And so when I get close to that 6 to 8 hours, I know that it's there instead of me having to remember. And that has made a huge difference. That is organizing. It wasn't big, it wasn't huge, but that's not something that you would get in an organizing book.
Well, and I throw that in my work life, that's preventative maintenance. So it's planning to keep up running rather than downtime. And people say, well, I gotta take in my machine. It's like, well, you do a 1-day service here. I plan ahead. I'm at this point in time, I've got X number of months in, I can estimate that out, and I book it in. And people go, how do you know that? And it's like, because I have my calendar system.
Yeah.
And so it's the same thing. Most of us have been in a work environment where we've got told, well, X number of hours, you need to service this or maintain that. It's the same thing. You're just bringing it into your sewing environment because you have these pieces of equipment.
Yeah. And just, you can keep it very simple. Yeah. Machines most of the time, using them, maintenance once a year. Mm-hmm. And so you can sit there and say, okay, you know what? April, we always go to Hawaii, I wish. Or whatever, but you usually, or you've got this planned time where you're going to go away. Well, you're not going to use your sewing machine. Yeah. So then book the 1-day service, and you can bring your machine in a few days earlier. So bring it in before you go. Plan that 1-day service. They've got it here, and then they'll call you, and then when you get back, it's done. And so you can plan those. So you're going away. Oh, well, wait a minute. Let me book my machine going in for its spa. I'm going away. It's going away. We're having holidays together. This is great. Holiday with your machine in 2 different places. And so again, that is just a little bit of organization. It is not this big.
Yeah, and the idea, and so a couple of things. People have seen me do a 1 day. They've seen me do a couple of days. Why is it over an entire month? What we're really trying to achieve for people like ourselves in our environment is, at the end of it, if you've done a little bit every single week, you've improved your space.
Yeah.
And we're hoping that it motivates you to take more on. And most of the time, the first day, it's like, I don't care what happens, but something's got to change. And that's usually what gets you going to come into a course like that. Can you apply the theories to anything? The answer is yes. It's totally applicable. The only people that would not be successful in an organization course that I teach, no, I would say anyone, is if you are being dictated to how to organize a space. I don't teach that. I teach how do you want it to be organized. And that's the difference. If you come in with saying, Anneve, you're going to tell me what to do, I can't tell you what to do. I don't live in your space. I don't work in your space.
Well, that's one of the things, like the one time you taught it before, it was kind of funny because you're like, I only have, you can't have any more than 8 bins, I think it was.
Yeah, mine's 12 bins.
12 bins.
And everyone follows up with me on that. And 1 month I had 13. Did anyone die over it? No.
Yeah. But it was just funny because you're like, 12 bins, you don't want that many, and you explained your rationale behind it, which was funny, but I'm like going, I can't just have 12 bins because like that just isn't going to work.
You know how many people come up to me and say, I get it.
Yeah.
And a couple people said, I only can have 3 bins. And it's like, that's a different thing.
It's different, but for me, I got 12 bins for personal stuff and I got 12 bins for work. But the concept is the same. And so I've taken that concept of the bins. So what I used to do is I had like projects like kind of here, and then I put them in like.
Who says no one learned anything?
I didn't. But it was just because like I put some bags in, or my projects, some of them in.
Those clear bags with the.
Well, first of all, I got some of these. Okay, They don't work. They're too small.
Yeah.
but I got like
The zipper pouch?
those big zipper
okay.
ones. But the problem with that is they were falling all over the place, and I was losing them. And so, I got these. They're for scrapbooking. They're from Michael's, and they're a hard case, but they're about 12 by 12. And I got a bunch of them. They used to be $5. They're not $5 anymore. They're not that much more expensive.
Yeah, but still, they're a cost.
They are a cost. But I bought a bunch of those, and then they're sitting on this one desk that I have in my thing. And then so on the front of it, I used a chalk marker so that it can wipe off. Just gotta be careful because it wipes off too easy. And I have 2 different colors. So I have one color, and those are work or class projects for that. And then I have another color that are my personal projects. And so now they're stacked. And so now I can visually see what projects I have on the go, what state they're in. And so when I'm like going, okay, I've got 20 minutes, I need to do some, I can sew, but my mindset at this moment is I don't want to have anything to do with work. I'm stressed. I just want like some no-brainer. So then I'll pull out like a personal project, and I can see it, and I can look going, okay, do I want this one, this one, this one? Okay, I'm in the mood to just sew. I'm in the mood to embroider, and it's all there. And it wasn't a huge thing, but this makes sense to me. It's not what Anneve taught per se. Like she goes, I've got bins and this, and she took it this way, but I was able to take that same concept and go this way. And now it's so much easier because I know where my projects are. I know what's in them. And because in the past I've going, okay, I need to work on this one, and it's in bags, and it's fallen down from somewhere.
The thread's over here, and I don't know where anything is.
Well, and then that's the other thing with the threads. When originally I got my threads, I got the diamond ones. And so I was organizing them in color. So all my blues. And then we had the big diamond sale. And so I may have bought a few. I think I was in 4 times with a basket.
FYI, that means the hubby doesn't know about the purchase. But anyway, that's beside the point.
One shelf, like I got a Billy bookcase beside my thing where I keep my threads. It was one shelf, now it's like 4. But the problem is so when I was organizing, my colors wasn't working because I'm looking, okay, is this a blue or is this a gray? Is this a green? And so I'm like, you know what, I'm just going to do them in order. And so I did that, and I found out that, yeah, I have a lot of multiples because I had one sitting in the blues, and and all that. So this way it's a lot more organized. And I know we use that word, but it now, because the other way made sense a little bit, but this one now makes more sense.
And what I throw in there type thing, this is about your process of you can now pull and go, as opposed to, where is that?
Yes.
But I needed that, so I need to go down the store and get that.
Yeah. Well, part of it there,
but
it just
in the world, the waste is what frustrates us. Of man, if I didn't have to go down there and I could have just done it.
Yeah.
That's the creativity, the time we get back.
Yeah, it's just, and so I think organization is also a journey, because what works in one moment doesn't necessarily work.
Ask us in 20 years what we'll be doing. Your kids.
I told you they're never moving out. So if I want to get rid of my children, I have to move out. But they'll still expect me to pay the mortgage.
And we're joking about that, but I know some of the people on this you don't have your kids at home anymore, and you're just like, yeah, they left, but I have this mess, or I have something that's sort of working. I need to go to the next step. And I always tell people, I started organizing 5 years ago. I'm still organizing. That's just the process. Well, that is built into organizing.
My fabric, okay, yeah. I had it organized in a certain way.
Well, how about we show people a couple of things?
Well, yeah, but I may have bought more fabric.
Of course you did.
And I may have so that needs to be reorganized. And so my brain is now going, okay, how can I change this so that I can find the fabric because I went from just mostly basics to now I got all this other stuff. Okay, so and so she's going to show us some of the things that she's like her journey through organizing.
Yeah, we're going to start with bins versus, these plastic. These are refrigerator organizers.
You can get the things anywhere.
You can get them anywhere. Amazon's awesome, by the way, to start.
IKEA.
Yeah, you can go a lot of different places. So the things, you might already have stuff. Shoe boxes work. I personally, in my household, clear things work really, really well. And so this is a couple of examples here. I've actually organized, I used to organize by width, that 1 inch, 2 inch, or whatever strips. I found all of those bins were overflowing when I was going through my scraps and organizing them. And someone suggested to me, you should do it by color because of the way you are creating your items. You want to pull by color in most cases. You're looking for blues, you're looking for that. And it's like, oh, yeah, okay, there's a different way of looking at it. So my strips, you'll see here, I grabbed my blue bin and my green strips. I can create a bag out of that. I got a couple of Barcello quilts that I'm putting together. You can see that my blue is overflowing. But I have an easy pull. I go to one thing, I'm creating a project, I can get it done. Then we move on to, move these over, to squares. Now I have a couple of different things here where I have my closed ones because these I usually cut up and these are my stacks. And yeah, they have a lid on it because I actually stack them all up. But what I do is I'm like, oh, I gotta put a baby quilt together. What do I got here? Oh, it's a girl. Okay, I'm pulling these. I can easily go through this and pull what I need. They're all the same size. And in some cases I'm going, oh, I did a whole bunch of half square triangles, but they fall to my 3 inch. I can start building a quilt out of scraps because maybe it's a day I just want to sew and not think. Whatever the case may be, I have these organized, ready to go. I have some nicer ones, and this is in an open bin because every once in a while you go and buy a stack because you have to buy fabric.
You do.
So in this case, I love these colors. I've kept it out, and you know what? I want to remember what I bought, so I've just put that in the bottom, and I will put that with maybe another set or look at how I want to make it fit in. So it's how I'm organizing my thoughts. And out of these, sometimes I want to build a bag.
So you can just pull.
So 46 squares, I can build a bag.
Very.
The strips, you can't really see the strips, but these are actually wide strips that I've offset, and then just grabbed one of them to do the bottom and fill in the top. So this was a scrap. These are 2 easy build scraps out of these.
Yeah, so you can just, when you got a project or you just feel like
By
sewing.
the way, those don't count in my 12. The truth be known. So another thing too is some people are taking the twisted Christmas tree skirt, and this is an organization pattern.
Mm-hmm.
And when you get organized with your numbers and that, and I know the ladies that were attending this one, they're like, oh my goodness, do you need to be organized? It's sort of the same thing but slightly different. You can build these type of things by staying organized, and then I put it into a bin afterwards to keep it all together so I can pull it out and start and stop. Some of this is about the start and stopping of our project.
Well, and that's just it. A lot of times we take and start a project, and then life gets in the way, and we have to end and to have it so we know where we're going.
So this is definitely a start and a stop project that we're working on currently. Showing you some of the things where, again, this is an organizational project where I had to be organized to make this Barcello. When I got it to a point, I wanted to be more creative and go outside my zone. When we had our quilt guild, this was a challenge quilt, I decided I wanted to hot fix these sparkles onto it. So that kind of stuff is also organized and have at hand. I don't make a big corner of it, but I keep that stuff around and allows me to be more creative. For me, this allows me to explore, okay, yeah, I assembled this as a class, But I like little things to be added and making the a simile of a bee wandering the flowers. So my creativity in my organization allows me to be more creative the more organized I am. And by the way, there are dust bunnies and little things in my sewing thing, so it's not like I have the perfect sewing room. And I say that because I think people give that expectation in the world today that things need to be perfect. And things are not perfect.
I don't know, dust bunnies. I have whole dogs in there.
And these are patterns or like assembly type pattern type things. Yeah. So the last one here is then you don't have a pattern. You can be totally creative. And this is actually a cover for my sewing machine.
Ooh.
I took a panel, I cut it, I sewed this into it. And on top of it, when it is not being used to cover my sewing machine, it's a holder.
There you go.
So this allows me, with organization, to do and grow from here.
I need to make one of those. Yeah. My machines are so dusty.
I guess the biggest thing to just nail this down is the organization classes are about what do you want to get out of it. You need to come in with what you want to achieve in your space, and I'd be gladly work with anyone. And it doesn't have to be the organizing course. It would be nice if we just attended that, but you can do that in any course with any of us.
Well, we have it like with the organizing for like the Kimberbell basics. I mean, that's what it is about, getting organized, because it really is. And we really need to call it something different than organizing, because it really is. Organizing is.
Suggestions are taken.
Just because organizing does become a
why we're focusing a bit on it is we want people to accomplish the project they do, because most of us start a project, especially if we're really new in the process, and it's like, oh my goodness, it's out of control. And that's why we're trying to help people. If you get organized, you finish, and then you want to do something else, and we keep on growing from that. And it's all about that growth and sort of going in that direction as opposed to being frustrated. I mean, how many times have we had people frustrated in a course and no one's happy in that? This is about taking the frustration out.
Well, I have a lot of people that sometimes have shown up to classes and like, oh, I thought I packed this, I thought I packed that. I didn't, or I can't take that because my sewing room is just such a mess. And
I can't take an organization course because I have no space. Those are the people that really need to be there, because you don't need more space. You only have what you have, and you're going to work with that.
Yeah. So, but anyways, I know we just kind of great talking to you, and so, but so Anneve's one of our teachers, and she's got that class coming up. She's got lots of different sewing classes,
and we take suggestions too.
We do. We all take suggestions on what we'd like to see, and because as much as we are brilliant people.
Well, no, sometimes we're actually trying to throw stuff out that you want.
Yeah,
so we are
and that's just it. We may be brilliant and everything else like that, but we'd like to get feedback from you guys of what you guys want to teach, because we're happy to teach it if we know what you want. All right, so so we're going to say goodbye, and we are going to say go out and enjoy the sun before it rains.
Peony weekend.
Of course,
that's all we have to say. Peony weekend equals rain.
Yeah, it's supposed to torrential downpour from.
So Deb's coming back this weekend then?
No, she's not coming back for another 2 weeks.
Oh, see you later, Deb.
Yeah. So, all right. We'll have a great week, and we will see you guys next week. I'm not sure who's with me next week.
I have no idea.
I don't know. We'll see. Bye.
Bye, everyone.